Hi guys, it's Travis with Beyond Bipolar Blog. Today I'm going to do another uh, review on a YouTuber. Her name is the Chronic Wellness Goddess. Actually, I was gonna watch this review regardless of whether or not I was gonna make a video, but since I'm gonna watch it and it relates to mental health, I might as well just do a review. So, like I said, this is from the Chronic Wellness Goddess. She has 832 subscribers. I'm pretty sure she's looking for 1,000. So, I'll include her YouTube link in the description below. And let's get to it.
Hey, I'm Helen, and today is the first Tuesday of the month. Therefore, this is a medication review video. If you are new or haven't watched any of my other videos, I review a different medication I take in on the first Tuesday of every month. And I've already reviewed Lamictal slash lamotrigine, Ativan slash lorazepam, and quetiapine slash Seroquel. So if you're interested in watching any of those, I will link them down below for you. Today I am reviewing a medication called Latuda, and Latuda is the first FDA-approved medication to treat specifically bipolar disorder depression. So it doesn't help with mania, it doesn't help with mixed episodes, it's just for depression, and it can help people with type 1 or type 2 bipolar disorder. And I also read that it can be taken in conjunction with a mood stabilizer or on its own without a mood stabilizer, which I thought was pretty cool. Before I get into it completely, I do just want to say this is my own personal experience. How it affects me may not be how it affects you. You know, medication affects everyone differently for a variety of reasons. So just kind of take everything I say with a grain of salt, especially if you haven't even started this medication yet. This is just my own experience and reality with this medication. So like I said, this helps specifically bipolar disorder depression. I personally have bipolar disorder type 1, and I was starting to feel more depressed in July, August of 2017. Just a lot of different things happening in my life. I started to notice the lack of motivation, the want to just stay in bed and not do anything.
I just want to let you guys know bipolar depression is extremely difficult. When I was on Latuda alone, I was still experiencing symptoms of bipolar depression, but it did get rid of the suicide ideations when I was on it. I've been on it since 2014, and it's 2021, so that's 7 years already, and I still continue to use it. The one thing that kind of irks me a little bit, it seems like she gets on medication and then she doesn't stay on it very long, but she does review it. I'll have to watch more of this video because I'm not sure. I've been on it a long, if you really want meds to work, you got to be on it for a prolonged period of time. You can't just simply go on it and go off it and assume it's gonna work. Although, to be honest with you, I have been on medications where I've only taken like a couple times and I knew immediately it wasn't gonna work. So if it's that quick, then it's possible. But another thing you have to be aware of, if you are on it a long time and if you have to get off it because of an organ issue or anything related to toxicology issues, that would be fine. So this does not relate to it, so let's continue to watch it.
I started to seclude myself a little bit. And I also lost interest in school, and that was kind of the big red flag for me because I really enjoy going to school and learning. And when I just didn't.
Like I said before, I had bipolar disorder 1 with psychotic features. That's what it ended up being called. Although I did have a history of psychosis, like I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't bathe, I would just lay on the couch all the time. I would always think about death. Death was all around me. I would almost call it like a dreaded sensation that, apparently when I was rice, I thought it was the brain of my friend, or maybe I had these like memorabilia that I ended up putting because I thought everything was dying. So basically, no matter what I did, I felt like that the life around me was just dying. Everything was decaying. And because of that, it's kind of hard to explain. I almost call it what did I call it? I almost called it I forgot what I called it, but it was just some terminology where I specified that death is all around me, that Whether I eat, it experienced death. Whether I cut my hair, I experienced death. Like, I couldn't cut my hair because I thought I was killing something alive. So I couldn't eat rice because I felt I was killing something, like eating my friend's brain or something. Because I would almost relate like anything cutting to like killing something. It was to the extreme where everything I was so sensed through the environment around me that I would just admittedly think that I couldn't do anything because else I would just feel and experience this feeling of death. And that's the whole reason why I end up in the psychotic phase. And that's when I started Latuda. You know, it's FDA approved for bipolar depression, same with Vraylar right now, but at the same time, I don't think it's totally helpful for bipolar depression. The thing is, it does get rid of like psychosis for me, and it does help with getting proper sleep because before I was on Latuda, I was just on lithium, and that alone wasn't helping me get any sleep. Right now, I get anywhere between 8 to 10 hours of sleep, usually in the 10-hour range, so that's pretty helpful. It's well due noted that I've been on Latuda since 2014, and I have increased from 40, 60, 80, now to 120. I'm at the highest dose. For those of you that aren't aware of Latuda, it's a very expensive drug, so if you're on disability or have some form of insurance that will cover it, meaning you're low income or with the disability, it should be covered fully. Although, to be honest with you, without coverage, the drug is like $1,900 a month for me for 30 pills, 120 milligrams, and it can be really expensive for those that can't afford it. To be honest with you, Latuda is a later generation. There's like two generations, like Clozaril's first generation, Zaprex's first generation, second, Abilify, Invega, and Latuda, Vraylar's included in that. And because of that, it's probably there's less side effects with the newer generations, but that does not totally mean that you don't have side effects. Well, Latuda alone, I ended up having the side effect of just somnolence. I would sleep longer than 10 hours, like 12 hours, and right now I don't get all the sleep and I'm staying up later, so I do know it's losing effect.
Didn't care about it. I knew something was off. So I called my psychiatrist, told her what was up. She recommended and suggested Latuda. Haven't heard of it till she talked about it, but she was really enthusiastic about it. She told me that she had different clients with bipolar disorder taking it, and it was really helping for them. So that obviously made me very hopeful. I did my own research, but it's a pretty new medication, relatively new. So at that time, which is going to be 3 years ago now,
The reason why the drug is so expensive is because it's still, trademarked, so there's no generic version available. Although I think they included it, I don't think it's FDA approved yet, so that's the reason.
there wasn't many reviews on it or videos or even articles or anything like that. So I didn't know too much about it besides what my psychiatrist said. So I was very hopeful. I started off on the smallest dose. Forgive me, I don't remember, but it's just the initial dose. Usually that's like, what, 5 to 10 milligrams? Something small. So it was.
I don't even think that they make 5 to 10 milligrams. The lowest I heard of is 20 milligrams, but to get me wrong, let's look that up. So I'm going to the Latuda website, and let's see what they talk about dosing here. No, I don't like this website. I think there's better. Yes, so the lowest one is 20 milligrams, 20, 40, 80, 120, and that's what I've been on. It does not go to 5 to 10, just to let you guys know.
The first dose. I was also on 200 milligrams of Lamictal slash lamotrigine.
Same here. I'm also on lamotrigine, but I've also started at maybe 50 milligrams to 100 milligrams to 150, and now 300, which is just 150 2 times a day.
at the time, and the Seroquel and Ativan as needed, as well as birth control.
Seroquel was given for me as PRN, which is just something to temporarily take if you're not feeling very well. Usually it's treated for anxiety, but for me it would just make me way too tired, so I end up sleeping early, and it just would affect my performance on a daily basis. So that's the reason why I stopped any PRNs when it comes to antipsychotics. Though Seroquel can be used as a PRN, very small dose.
Um, those are just the medications I take. So I was on all of that, and I didn't change anything. All I did was add Latuda. First impressions, it helped somewhat. My mood started to improve. I started to get some motivation back. It wasn't like I woke up and everything.
You know, I almost experienced Catatonia, which is kind of really the schizophrenia. To me, Catatonia is like just inactivity. It's like not being able to move. That's pretty much what was me before I was ever on Latuda. Antipsychotics can help with that, and it would develop. I just didn't have a sense of motivation. And before I was on Latuda, I almost feel like I was just. I have videos on this to describe more in general on what it was like to be on Latuda. Let's just go to the video actually on what I want to talk about, because I actually talk about the video itself on Beyond Bipolar blog in one of my earlier videos. So let me see if I can find the video on what I'm talking about here. I know I really don't want to add other videos to it, but at the same time, I feel like it's really important. So let me see if I can find the video, Schizophrenia. That might be it. It might be this one. Let me check. Hello, my name is. Sorry, the internet's really, really challenging. So that's why, from my own standpoint, I don't know how normal people do it, because obviously when I come to try doing it, I can't survive. I try to talk about my mental illness, I can't survive. Which brings income. So I do describe my daily routine, and it was very rigid. In the beginning, when you have bleeding gums and you needed, I don't know, I don't want to go through this, because essentially I was just lack motivation. The attire has totally degraded when people die, because all you think about is their death and how miserable it is, and how miserable death really is. But I was very suicidal. And like for the longest period of time when I was outside, all I can think about was Maya being disabled. You know, death would really occur to me back in 2014. My dad almost died, and that really affected my mental health. So in a general, death was all around me. It affected my mental health. I was depressed. I got more suicidal, and it wasn't until my mom decided to come over and take me to the hospital, and that's when my life started getting better.
Everything was amazing, it wasn't like that. I was just like, oh hey, I kind of feel a little bit better. Unfortunately, at the same time, my skin broke out horribly. I never had issues with skin breakage out, but maybe it's possible. I know for certain the lithium in general caused lithium acne, and I ended up taking a cream for that. I'm not quite sure on what. I think there's clindamycin. It was a prescription medication for acne. I haven't had acne for 5 years now, so I'm not sure, because I'm no longer on lithium, but that's probably the reason. My whole face, just the type of acne that hurts, so I broke out and it was hurting. And I also gained about 12 to 13 pounds. And this was,
to be honest with you, Latuda is one of the more weight-neutral drugs that's out there for antipsychotics. The older antipsychotics like Zyprexa, Clozaril, and mood stabilizers like Lithium or Depakote, they do increase weight gain. But I know for certain Latuda is more weight neutral, though it does make sense that antipsychotics in general do put on weight because it changes the metabolism of what you eat and it increases hunger pains. So that's the reason why you might gain weight if you're inactive.
It was all within the first week and a half, 2 weeks, so it came on very suddenly. And that was just really disappointing because I had high hopes about this and I hadn't read anything negative about it, but my face broke out and my clothes weren't fitting anymore, which was causing me to be very self-conscious, as I'm sure you can imagine. And I was starting to get depressed, and that was tanking my mood even more. So
I can totally relate to this. I was like 55 pounds overweight and I was depressed. And the thing that killed it was that if I did not change myself, I would, I would just take my life because I simply just felt like this weight is not something I want to live with. But that desire to change myself is the reason why I lost 55 pounds.
benefits weren't outweighing the side effects at all. So I called my doctor and told her what was happening. She asked if I had changed anything. I told her I didn't, and I told her I was going to stop taking this medication because it just wasn't worth it for me personally. I don't mind if things change my weight a little bit or if I break out somewhat, but just to the extreme that it was really scared me. And I was thinking, if this is the first couple weeks, what's going to happen in a few months, and my mood isn't even really, that much better for me to want to stay on this medication. So I went off Latuda, and honestly, within the next couple days after going off of it, my face started to clear up and my weight started to go back to what it was before I took Latuda. So it was very apparent that it was the medication that was making me have those side effects. And I just stopped taking it. Everything went back to normal. But yeah, that was just, this medication review. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, like I said, everyone is different. This was just my experience with it. I've been seeing different videos and articles and everything where it's really helping people. So I definitely say give it a try. If anything happens to you like it did with me, you can just go off of it, and everything with me went back to normal. So, I'm hoping that will be the same for you if anything happens to you. But yes, I hope this was helpful.
If you're new to the game and you've never been on a psychotic, I've been on 8 different ones: Seroquel, Geodon, Abilify, Invega, Risperdal, Clozarils, and Latuda, and I heard of Vraylar, which that's the only one I heard of that I never really been on. Just want you to know, back in then, I was pretty not thinking clearly. So I just was on all these meds and I didn't take control. I just felt like I had to take these meds to feel better. Also, I was just gonna do myself more harm, but there was a lot of harm when it came to this medication. It got to the point I would have post-traumatic stress because of the horrible side effects I've been on. But do I regret it? No. Do I forgive? Yes, because forgiveness is something that, can really alleviate your stress. Generally, having all that angst and anger just generally doesn't help with mental health. So the reason why I'm telling you guys is you got to get through the hard times. You got to experience what it's like to be on medications, because any new medication will be different according to your own body. Not everyone experiences the same side effects. Not everyone experiences the same purpose when it comes to the medication. So because of that, I just want you to guys know, if you are still struggling and you can't find the right med, try to keep at it. Try to take that step. Try to call your psychiatrist. Try to schedule your psychiatrist. I have a very great psychiatrist. Back in then, I had a psychiatrist that was a nurse practitioner, and she literally got rid of me because a year of being in a group home and just 3 hospitalizations, she did nothing to benefit me, and I made the mistake by continuing to stay with her. Take that active step to find the right psychiatrist. I'm with the psychiatrist that allows me to that allows me to email him whenever I need a change, so I can get a change done really, really quickly, and I can experience all these drugs really quickly. And lo and behold, I'm on the right medication, because I've been on so many medications. I've tried so many medications. That's what you got to do. You got to keep trying. You got to keep progressing. You got to have a goal in mind that you want to get better, and that is the way you can really cope with this.
For you, and thank you so much for watching. Next month I'm going to be discussing lithium, and that was an experience. So if you're interested in watching that, stay tuned. Like I said, I have my other videos linked down below. And I also do Wellness Wednesday videos, just kind of discussing different wellness tricks and tips. I'm a yoga teacher, a Reiki master, and sound healer, so I talk a lot about Eastern philosophy and ways to help the body and the mind and the spirit through those modalities. And Tuesdays are kind of just a more fun, short video for medication reviews, because I do personally believe in blending the best of Western kind of psychology and medications available, along with Eastern healing modalities and holistic alternatives, just because that's what's been helpful for me in managing my bipolar disorder, anxiety, depression, and endometriosis.
Just letting you guys know, I think DBT is very similar to Eastern philosophies. Mindfulness is something that you might have heard of, which is observe, describe, and living in the present moment. I think that it can be very helpful when it comes to purpose of mental health, wellness, things like that. For me, I still feel like in previous videos that meds is the one thing that changed me to get better. It's like the one thing I go to in order to feel better, because generally speaking, before I wasn't not on the right meds, I would just feel hopeless, purposeless, suicidal, in the hospital, in and out. I've had 7 hospitalizations, and because of that, I want you guys to know that meds really helped me. Even if you're really reluctant to take meds, I still recommend therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy groups, support groups, anything that you can get your mind on and active and distracted from
so
negative
I really
feelings.
just want to share what's helped me with anybody else who is interested in learning about it. Again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.
Alright, so I watched that entire video. I don't know, what did I learn from it? Well, I learned the fact that Latuda helps me, it didn't help her, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, she has 832 subscribers. I'm pretty sure she's looking for 1K. I will include her YouTube address below. If you guys have any questions regarding Latuda, I've been on it for 7 years now. It has helped with psychosis. It has helped with sleep primarily for those 2 editions. And I think that's it. So if you guys want to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell button, that'd be great. Once again, this is Travis Baylitz signing off with Beyond Bipolar Blog. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.